as we said before we had our team meeting, talking to the guys, this is an opportunity to go out and play, and we're looking to see guys that can play and that you can trust, and guys that can react to different situations. And if this was a game, you'd look at it and say, offensively, you can't turn the ball over twice, 2 picks, and then maybe running into the red zone. Dari gets that punched out of him, and on the flip side, big point of emphasis for the defense. And even though you're backed up and they've got an opportunity to score, it's not over yet. You got to keep playing. I thought we had some guys do some good things and build on what they've been doing. Mike Kapoy took a lot of snaps with the ones, and I think he's doing some good things. Now it's not as clean as, there's still things that we've got to work on with him, and you look at that and the whole team. But I think there's some guys that it's close, and talk to them after the scrimmage here, and everyone's got to own it, and some guys have got to know what to do better. Other guys have got to know the details within it, and other guys got to keep pushing. Guys that I think are ahead of the curve, they got to just keep pushing it. And our camp format might change a little bit this next week, and as we transition, tomorrow. But we still got a lot of work to do for us to be as good as I think we can be and need to be.
You mentioned the red zone off the top. I mean, when you were here as all coordinator, that was a huge point of emphasis for you. Is that particularly troubling? I mean, when you're giving the ball away 3 times basically down there?
If we don't learn from it.
Okay.
If we don't learn from that, absolutely. And if we learn from it, I'd rather be whatever today is, August whatever, than in the season. And so I think there's some, one quarterback read it the wrong way. One that was kind of like we're talking about with the details of kind of the play or within the play. And, and Dari's taking care of that football. And yet, I think we're doing a better job of punching at the ball and getting it out. So whichever hat you want to wear on that play, you can be pretty fired up. But, yeah, we got to be a lot better playing games. I think you see it. There's some guys that I think are playing consistent, and some guys need to keep working to be consistent.
Leo had a lot of big reps today, and he had 2 interceptions. Do you see him as becoming a more definitive player on defense instead of just being special teams player?
I think that's the opportunity that he has. And the thing I appreciate from Moose is he's taking advantage of that. And you saw it today. You're bouncing Tanner back and forth, and guys can let that affect them one of 2 ways. And I think Moose is championing it the way you'd want, and when he gets his turns, he's locked in, and he puts himself in good position. So if there is an error or if something happens, he can capitalize on that.
What did you guys see in Kapoy that allowed you to start giving him some work with the ones the last couple of days?
I think what it was he started to maybe think a little less and play a little bit more, and has enough ability now. Wasn't a lot of things. It wasn't like it was all perfect or clean, but he was putting some things on tape that earned him the right to get more snaps.
You've been impressed with what you've gotten from the. Sorry, go Jim.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Have you been impressed with what you've gotten with your true freshman linebackers? Is that maybe more than you expected from them?
Yeah, you always go in with freshmen you don't know. Now, with the rules, we were able to be around them a little bit more now than, let's say, a couple years ago. The first time we were able to see them play, so, and I think that's where, Chryst shows, I think, real good football instinct. I think Alec, you can't go back and watch his tape and see how he played linebacker, right? He didn't play it, so he's learned, but he's competitive, smart. I like the way they're going, and it's a lot of guys at this point, the ones that are going the right direction got to keep going that way, and I think there's a couple more that got to take bigger strides.
Ingold was getting a lot of good reps this past week, but was he a little bit banged up today? He was more with the 3s today.
I think it's, getting TJ back. I thought Ryan Conley's done something. There's another young backer, not new this, but so I think it's more just getting the rotation.
Paul, do you have any idea on the severity of Fumagali's injury? And
Yeah.
You were short a little bit at that position.
Right.
Anyways. Is that a concern?
Right now, what I was told, it was, kind of tweaked it a little bit early, and just wanted to make sure we didn't do anything more to it. Yeah, hopefully Eric is making strides to come back, but yeah, right now it's Kyle Pennison got a lot of work. Austin got a lot of work.
One guy who was already banged up coming in, Ben Schwall, now he's on crutches with that brace. Is he out for an extended
I
period
don't
of
think
time?
we'll have him at all in camp.
I don't think we've seen Hayden since the injury out here at all.
That's correct.
Is that protocol he's going through with concussion?
Yeah.
Is your backup quarterback situation any clearer after another
I
week?
thought a little bit. Yeah, I think this week's kind of. I'm anxious to watch the film and see if it's what I thought I saw today, but I think it is. They've been able to get. Yesterday morning, Bart didn't take as many reps, and so that gave DJ and Alex a chance to get some more reps. And then Bart had, really I think all the quarterbacks got some work today, and it's starting to.
What have you liked? What have you seen out of Dare in fall camp so far?
I think he gives us. He's been here, and he's used to. Maybe not at that position, but played in games, and I think he's got, good football intelligence, and when he trusts himself, I think he's a pretty good player, and that's where we got to help him get to where he can consistently trust himself.
What about the other guys? Backup tailbacks.
Yeah, it was good. I thought it was good to get Taiwan back. He missed a couple practices, and he seemed like he was sure of himself, and anytime you can take doubt and kind of the question in the back of your mind out of it, I think he's got the ability to be a pretty good downhill back, and he's a guy that benefits from a lot of reps, and like everyone, right? I mean, he's not unique, but it was good to get Taiwan back, and then I think there's a drop off.
2 weeks in Alabama. How concerned, if at all, are you about your offensive line at this point? It seems to be kind of the thing that's having the most difficulty.
Yeah, because there's not this. Yeah, and there's not the certainty of it. I think that Walker Williams has had a lot of reps, and that's helped him. And like we were talking about with Micah, but this next week's certainly a big week for us in the offensive line, and because so much of that is then learning how to work with each other. It's not just what you're doing, but then. If you're working, there's a lot of double team combinations, or in pass pro, you're working with each other, and it's getting a feel for each guy and communication. So I think that's got to be a focal point for this next week.
Is it safe to say Derek Watt can give you some things as a receiver?
Yeah, I've really liked the way that Derek's been all camp, and I think that I liked what he did on film, and I think he's better this fall than he was in spring. So personally being around and seeing it, and I think he's got a real good understanding of what we're trying to do, which I think helps him then play, and particularly a lot of the things that he does in the throw game. There's some feel to it, and some small space precision, for lack of a better term. He's been fun to be around this fall camp.
I know you talked about the red zone issues, but you did have a couple of touchdowns from Joel too.
Yeah, I didn't know it was red zone issues. I mean, we're learning and we're practicing, and we'll get better there. But I think I cut you off. What was your question?
I was saying that a couple of nice throws from Joel to Alex, and then also to Austin for touchdowns.
Yeah, they were.
How would you assess Joel today?
I thought he did some good things. We had a couple plays that we were wanting to, just hadn't gotten enough on tape, and wanted to get them. And I think those were some that we got to work through. That was one of the picks. It was the first time that he's run it, but wanted to run it so that we don't have as many issues in the red zone.
Is Tanner's role any more clear at this point?
It's been pretty clear. You got to play, and need him on offense, need him on defense. So I think that's what it is.
Have you seen him get more comfortable at wide receiver though in this fall camp?
Yeah.
Well, I know you guys didn't do live punting here today.
Right.
Drew Meyer has talked about trying to overcome what the last 2 years have been like. How does he hit the ball in camp from what you guys have
I think
seen?
Drew's been pretty good.
Okay.
And I think he's had a good approach to it. That the group of specialists, it's a good mix of guys. and I think they enjoy working and helping each other. You know, I think Udi drives a lot of that. It's pretty cool, and so you know, he's got to just, and like anything, you go through it, and I think he's maturing as a player, person, athlete, you know, and how to deal with that. And it's going to happen this fall. He'll have a bad punt, and how do you come back from it? And you know, however you get to those things, if you come out of it and learn how to deal with them, I think that makes you better. And hopefully that's the case now with Drew, but with a lot of guys.
Your running backs have always made a name for themselves, especially in the past 5 years. How do you think Corey's going to make a name for himself, and is he ready for that breakout year?
He's preparing to be ready for it, and you know, I think he gives certainly a very talented, good dimension. We need Corey, and we need good Corey, and that's what's in front of him. That's the opportunity he has, and then you go play the games and see what happens.
Do you think he's ready to carry that torch from what Gordon had last year?
Yeah, I mean, there's been absolutely.